We have Alexander Azadgan join us. He's an academic and senior political advisor with the Center for Geostrategic Studies. Alexander Azadgan, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Kaveh. Can you hear me?
Yes, I do have you. So first
Good.
of all, let me get your reaction regarding this really historic welcoming back ceremony, but in terms of the voyage that took place, which is the first in Iran's naval history, lengthy cruise around the world, sailing across the Indian, Pacific, and Atlantic Oceans, talking about the flotilla that traveled 63,000 kilometers and 4 times across the equator. As an Iranian, how do you feel when you have this major achievement take place?
First of all, thanks for your invitation, Kaveh. It's always good to be with you. I think this is a great moment of pride and patriotism, not just for the 83 million strong Iranians within Iran's border, but Iranians from all over the world who are watching us live and are feeling patriotic, are feeling energetic, are feeling positive and confident. As Misu was mentioning, this 86th fleet just came to Bandar Abbas. It was comprised of the forward-based ship Makran, as well as the domestically manufactured destroyer Dena. I must emphasize the fact that domestically manufactured technology, this is very important. This is a result of many years of cooperation between Iran's foreign ministry and Iranian universities and Iran's other military industrial complex apparatus. It is a great moment for Iran to project an image of power, most importantly to the Iranian people themselves, who, after many years of monstrous economic aggression and sanctions, are feeling proud of their nation. Only a handful of countries can achieve this. As Misu was mentioning, 63,000 kilometers around the world, 8-month journey across 3 oceans. And in my opinion, this is Iran's yes, we can and yes, we did moment. If I could make an advisory note, I would strongly urge the Iranians to follow up this achievement with another voyage going through the Bab al-Mandab Strait, which is one of the 3 most straits in the whole world, Strait of Hormuz, Bab al-Mandab, and Strait of Malacca, and have them go through the Red Sea, go through the Suez Canal, and send a strong message to the Israelis who now have submarine presence in the Sea of Oman. They don't dare go through the Strait of Hormuz to be in the Persian Gulf, which the IRGC is protecting, but Iran needs to send a strong message. I was listening to Iran's leader's speech in Persian. I listened to it. He was saying very interesting things that during this time of thawing of relations between Iran and Saudi Arabia and other neighbors, Iran should project an image of strength and power, and at the same time be at the negotiations table and let the eyes of Iran's enemies and those superpowers around the world, the geopolitical hubris of a handful of countries who think they are the international community, let their eyes be blinded by this achievement. And you know, we are looking at tectonic shifts in the Middle East. Iran is actually having peace talks with Egypt. This is after 44 years of the Iranian Revolution. I think Iraq is mediating this. We heard that the Israelis are trying to trick and manipulate the Egyptians not to go through this, probably through economic packages and what have you. So we are entering a new realm in the West Asian geopolitics where China is active. China just made a huge diplomatic achievement by bringing Iran and Saudi Arabia together, because they're going to be investing trillions of dollars in West Asia. So at a moment when the American empire is collapsing, I foresee the same thing happening with Israel, losing their influence, losing their clout, especially under this lunatic prime minister who just doesn't seem to go away, like a inner city cockroach, just doesn't seem to go away. And so I can't wait for more achievements like this. I think Iran should follow this achievement with another one and send a strong message to warmongers in Brussels, in Washington, and in Tel Aviv. Great source of patriotism for the Iranian people. I'm sure everybody's tuning in within Iran's domestic channels and watching this. Beautiful, strong warriors in their beautiful white uniforms and special forces. And Iranians are one of the most patriotic people on earth. They don't have a civilization of 1,400 years. They don't have a civilization of 2,500 years. They have a civilization of 7,000 years. This has been proven. It's within Iran's current borders in the North Sistan and Balochistan province. So everybody's watching us. This is a great source of pride, not for just people in Iran, but people outside of Iran, the Iranians who've been here in diaspora for 40, 50 years. Everybody's watching this, and I can guarantee you eyes are rolling in Pentagon after this achievement. Only a handful of countries can achieve this.
Yeah, I'm looking down the list of the ports that they actually docked on. Of course, regionally speaking, in a sense, it was the first stop at the port of Mumbai over in India, then in Jakarta. But then I'm looking down the list here and how it passed the coast of Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, and Brazil. And the question that I have, and then anchoring in the port of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, which coincided with their establishment of relations between Iran and Brazil initially. Excuse me. I'm wondering what message or that sense to the world in terms of the Iranian presence in the high seas, the way that this did. And secondly, which you touched on, if you can expand on that, there was a point where the U.S., actually based on what the Iranian Navy Commander, Rear Admiral Shahram Irani said, he said that the U.S. actually wanted to stop the flotilla from passing through the Panama Canal, but it failed. So what types of impressions do you think the U.S. is getting from what has occurred, and how do you think that's going to change their calculations when it comes to Iran and its naval might?
This is a great question. We are living at a time where we are literally witnessing the de-dollarization of the world economy. Iraq, a few days ago, one of the top 5 exporter of oil to the United States, announced that they're de-dollarizing, and many other countries, including ally countries. So by Iran, first of all, these port visits, it took months to prepare, both diplomatically and from a naval perspective, military perspective. That in and out of itself is an achievement, because in the past, Washington tried to intimidate a lot of these countries, especially in South America, where President James Monroe in I think it was 1823, declared the entire Western Hemisphere is our realm. So by Iran coming to the Western Hemisphere and docking at these ports, that in and out of itself is not just a naval achievement, it's a diplomatic achievement. And this, I think, the Iranian leader pointed out to his audience of diplomats and personnel from the ministry, the foreign ministry. And so we finally have a useful president again in Brazil, President Lula, and I see a change in tide in that country. The entire U.S. is losing a lot of influence in South and Central America. Even the president of Mexico was making very strong comments against Washington. And so not just South America, other ports as well. So I think we are at a place in history where we are seeing the waning of the American empire and the waxing of multipolarity, not just China. We are looking at China, India, Russia, Brazil, all these other countries, the BRICS countries, as well as the strengthening of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And Iran is very pivotal. If our audience actually looks at the map of the world, Iran is literally at the center of this great world island that my supervisor, Dr. Alexander Dugan, talks about, literally. And so, just a few days ago, we heard about the train route between Rasht and Astara connecting Iran, Azerbaijan, and Russia and Pakistan. So we are witnessing literally an alignment of the world order. And this is at a time where we have an extremely weak president who has been consistently wrong in every foreign policy decision. And we don't know who would be the next president, but I think it's not about the presidency. I think we have lost our clout in the world. We are a youth power, definitely in West Asia, but even with the bolstering and projecting power in the East, Far East, vis-a-vis Australia, I don't think we can go anywhere. It's just you cannot stop this trend of multipolarity that everybody is subscribing to. With this to sanctions, policymakers have for the past years, people are People are tired of supporting Washington's wars by subscribing into this petrodollar system and actually paying for it. We are close to $33 trillion of national debt. If the world de-dollarizes quickly, which is not going to happen because I mean it would throw the whole thing, into the air. But we are looking at a collapse of the American empire possibly within 10 years.